started off in 1995, where I had the idea to release a new age type cat album or cassette, double-sided new age cassettes. They were the rage at the time in new age shops. Dolphin, relaxation, Native American Indian type ambient new age music cassettes. So I recorded this Spirit of the Cat, which was a long play double-sided cassette that played constantly on each side, not separate tracks. And although it had a couple of meows in it, it didn't really feature, well, no purring at all, and just a couple of meows. One of the distributors said, "Oh, yeah, great idea, but it needs to have more purring in it. We need to have purring in it. It needs to have cat sounds in it." And I thought, okay, but it actually did sell well, that cassette, Spirit of the Cat. You can't get it anymore. You might find it on eBay, but you can't get it. But it did do pretty well all around. I think the cover sold it, and it was at the time. I'd say that was 95. So 9 years on, 2004, I started work on this, the rework of it really, because I did incorporate musical elements of Spirit of the Cat in Mogology. But it was like reworked, completely different, 10 separate tracks. But one of the tracks is very much taken from Spirit of the Cat. So Mogology was a term I made up probably in the early 2000s, which would describe the action, the subtle art of Mogology. When you watch a cat in the garden, or just watching the cat on your sofa, washing, looking at the window at the birds, just the very relaxing, elegant manner of the cat. And I thought, this is Mogology, the subtle art of Mogology, like I say on the actual album. So that became the title of this new rework, and it did feature a lot of purring, a lot of meowing, various cats I recorded over time. And so it was 10 separate tracks, and covering lots of different styles really. I mean, guitar instrumental, acoustic, classical, sort of quirky kind of novelty, very serious moments, spoken word. And that was released in 2005. One of the inspirations for that album, or for some of the music, was I wrote a track before I started recording Mogology, and this track ended up on Mogology, and that was called Pairs in Heaven, which I wrote and recorded in 2003 for my cat Tigger, who passed and went to cat heaven, departed Earth in June 2003, 2003. And it's right from the heart. I knew Tigger a long time, wrote this very serious piece of music. Sometimes you have to get things out of yourself. Now I, at the time, was reading a book called The Cats of Moon Cottage by Marilyn Edwards, and she wrote a series of 4 books in this series. The Cats of Moon Cottage, More Tales from the Cats of Moon Cottage, tales as in stories, The Cats of Hut and Roof, and The Coach House Cats, which I'll come back to in a second. So I was reading the original one around 2003 and really inspired by it. It was such a touching book. And I thought, I bet you'd like to hear this Pairs in Heaven piece that I've written. So I sent her the track on CD, because it was unreleased at the time. And she responded. She said, "Oh, Kevin, I love this piece of music." Marilyn's no longer with us. She passed a few years ago. Lovely lady. She said, "I love this piece of music, and I'd like to write about you and your cats and your cat music in the 4th final book of the series." And I said, "Fantastic, it'd be lovely." So I told her all about, I just moved into a cottage at the time in the country. I told her about the 3 new cats I had and how they settled in, and little quirky stories, and she included this in the book. the coach house cats. So that original book, The Cats of Moon Cottage, was about two of her cats called Otto and Septi, and one of them passed away. I think they ultimately both passed away, but it was a really touching story in that original book, and I composed a piece when I was writing Mogology called Otto and Septi's Tune. Yeah, so I sent her Prayers in Heaven. She heard that and asked if she could write about me in one of the books. I also composed Otto and Septi's Tune. So Prayers in Heaven and Otto and Septi's Tune are both on the Mogology album. So there was a synchronicity going on between Marilyn and I with the books and the music. But it's been in the CD format for a lot of years, the Mogology, and sold to people all around the world. I was always aware that people would say, is it available digitally? Can I stream it? Can I go on Spotify? I always said, no, CD only, this particular one, CD only. And I knew one day I'd get that round to put it out as on the digital platforms. And now it's happened. 1st of May 2023, it is out there. The CD, which is still available, people can still buy the physical product, but the CD, the artwork was done by Rachel Bessie, the artist who did a great, almost cultish, classic image for Mogology, and that will continue to be the cover for the CD. But I felt for the digital re-release, I could see more of a photographic cover, and I could see this sort of almost fluffy cat, side profile, looking quite dreamy. And I did look through lots of library pictures and things, but come across this cat photographed by a lady called Julie Tennant, and it turns out her cat in the photograph's called Smokey. So I approached her and said, could we use your wonderful picture? Could Smokey be the face of Mogology re-release? She agreed. So Smokey will be the new face of Mogology for the digital release, and Rachel's original artwork will continue to be for the CD. I mean, would I ever do another cat album? Possibly. There could be Mogology 2, couldn't there? Could be Mogology 2, not nothing more planned. It's just nice now that Mogology is out on all the digital platforms for people to stream. People can listen to it for free on the streaming sites, and of course they can also download the album or indeed still order the physical CD. But it has been a big part of my life, that particular work, and spoken word, guitar instrumental, classical, all these styles make a kind of a quite diverse musical expression